One Zambia, one nation. It's now time for the news on Zanis. My name is Kalan Muchima to present it. Here are the headlines. Government funds aquaculture training. USAID supports water, sanitation and hygiene in Zambia. Plus, KCM Mopani to be revamped. Another news in detail. Minister of Fisheries and Livestock, Makozo Chikote, says government has increased the funding to fisheries and aquaculture training institutes countrywide to enhance technical capacity to support the industry. In a speech read on his behalf by Director of Fisheries, Mbawai Mbewe, at the 23rd graduation ceremony at Kasaka Fisheries Training Institute in Chama District, Mr. Chikote says the country needs skilled manpower in order to achieve sustainable fish production. Irene Nganga has more in the following report.
Kasaka Fisheries Institute in Chama District has held its 23rd graduation ceremony under the theme Sustainable Fish Production Through Quality Training. Minister of Fisheries and Livestock, Makozo Chikote, was represented by Fisheries Director Mbamwai Mbewe at the ceremony.
Government has increased funding to fisheries and aquaculture training institutions countrywide to enhance technical capacity to support the growing aquaculture industry.
And Chama Fisheries Training Institute Principal Marjorie Kujila says increased funding to the institute has enhanced operations at the institution.
In the recent past, the college experienced an improvement and consistency in government funding. Allow me to acknowledge that the improved funding has enhanced operations at the college.
Noah Nyambe Mumeka, a graduating student, has commended the government for creating an enabling environment for the private sector dealing in aquaculture to thrive.
Guests of honor, allow me to express our sincere gratitude to the government for creating an enabling environment for private sectors involved in fisheries and aquaculture.
25 students who pursued a 2-year program in fisheries science and 10 candidates who trained in boat operation and navigation have graduated from the institute. Irene Nganga, Zanis, Kafue.
And community market for conservation, Komako in Chama District, is targeting to purchase over 600 metric tons of rice and soya beans this year from farmers in the area. Komako Chama District Manager Mwape Chibale has attributed the projected bumper harvest for rice and soya beans to good rainfall that was received last farming season. Here's a report.
It's a year of bumper harvest of rice and soya beans from Chama District. Community Market for Conservation Komako Chama Project Manager Mwape Chibale has revealed to Zambia News and Information Services Zanis in an interview today. Mr. Mwape states that Komako is set to buy 600 metric tons of rice and all soybeans from its farmers.
Expect to buy more than 600 metric tons of rice because the farmers have produced enough. Then for soybeans, we have enough as Komako. We are buying soybeans together with maize, where we are producing our products with a name, Yam Soy, with this trade name, it's Huawei.
Which areas are targeted?
Harvest in terms of rice. We have got potential areas like in Chief Chikwa, that is Zole, Kapichilanzenga, Simulemba, and Chimpamba, then in Tembwe, and also in Kambombo, especially in Skalinga. So those are areas we are buying rice.
However, human-animal conflict is still common. Elephants are reported to be at the center stage of destruction. Food security is paramount and calls for all stakeholders to embrace the spirit of productivity. Fred Piri, Zanis News, Chama.
Now in Lusaka province, a total of 7.4 million kwacha of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has been utilized in Kawata constituency in Lusaka. Speaking during the handover of the grants to 81 cooperatives and 6 community projects at New Kamlanga Combined School. Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu said the prudent utilization of the funds is a sign of government's commitment to fostering development in all constituencies. We have more in this report.
New Kamlanga Combined School in Kabwata constituency is a beneficiary to one of the 6 projects currently running in the constituency. The school, which has a population of 5,200 learners, sharing 22 classrooms, is having an extra 1x4 classroom block under construction worth 1.4 million kwacha using the Constituency Development Fund.
Our classrooms are crowded. We are having children in one class as many as 140 in one class, which is quite unprecedented. And this made us to cry a lot that we needed the expansion at this school. We cried to our local leadership and they heard our cries, and then this is what we can see today, a 1x4 classroom block given to us.
Kabwata Member of Parliament says there are 6 community projects that are running in his constituency, totaling to 5.2 million kwacha, but he is concerned with the low publicity being done by the Lusaka City Council Public Relations Department on CDF projects.
So many projects that have been done in Lusaka. I call upon Lusaka City Council, especially the Department of Public Relations, so that they start disseminating this information to the different media houses. We hear about Kanchirea or Wembe that they are doing fine. It's not about the Member of Parliament who's doing the work. It's also been supported by the public relations of the different councils. So
the Lusaka District Commissioner, who handed over grants to 81 cooperatives and conducted a ceremonial groundbreaking for the 6 community projects through the Lusaka District Administrative Officer, has congratulated Kabwata constituency for being one of the 2 performing constituencies in terms of utilization of the CDF.
I want to commend Honorable Taengwa and the other stakeholders for being exemplary in the utilization of CDF. I'm wondering what is happening in some other constituencies. We have 2 in Lusaka district that are very quiet. For me, silence means there is a problem. And Lusaka City Council, together, let us unearth the reason why these 2 constituencies are not showing any activities supported by CDF, but others are doing so under the same circumstances.
Reporting for Zanis in the Lusaka District, I'm Mijelo Mwemba.
In a related development, Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has commissioned and handed over 3 CDF projects worth over 1.2 million kwacha in Chama District. Mr. Mpundu handed over 2 1x2 classroom blocks and a clinic in the district. Helen Walia was there and filed in this report.
The Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has seen the actualization of development projects in Northern Province and across the country. Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has handed over 3 CDF projects worth over 1.2 million kwacha in Kasama. Mr. Mpundu handed over a 1x2 classroom block constructed at Henry Kapata School worth 525,000 kwacha and 2 completed structures, namely Kalense Clinic worth 380,000 kwacha and a 1x2 classroom block at Jesus Cares Community School costing 319,000 kwacha, which were started by their respective communities.
The dilapidated of learning institution shall soon be or slowly becoming a thing of the past. This can be alluded to the fact that the New Dawn government under the able leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has made it a priority for all citizens to have access to basic facilities such as this project I'm handing over today.
Kasama DC Elizabeth Goma and Kasama TC Kasonde Msongole witnessed the handover of the projects.
When building a house, you start with only 1 block and then you start moving. So we'll be moving, we'll look into other problems that the schools are facing.
The classrooms, like you have seen, we have a good number in our district that have been completed under community projects. And now in phase 2, we are looking at ensuring that we do the desks.
Felicitas Mlenga is a pupil at Henry Kapata School.
The desire of our President of the Republic of Zambia, Ms. Hakainde Hichilema, is to see no people sitting on the floor before the end of this year. Hence, we humbly appeal to you to assist us with more desks that will cater for the entire school population.
Helen Bwalia for Zanis in Kasama, Northern Province.
A pathologist from Kitwe has told the Mufulira Magistrate Court that a 22-year-old police officer was found dead in his house at Sikalangwe Police Camp on 23rd October 2020, did not commit suicide, but was murdered. Kitwe Central Hospital pathologist Oga Sandakoska told the court that her findings reveal that the position in which the police officer's body was found was stage managed, as Nason Simbeye was shot at from the back whilst in a kneeling position. Meanwhile, the investigating officer, Chief Inspector Kennedy Siaziombo, told the court that police found the deceased house slightly open with no sign of forced entry. This is in an inquest before the Mufulira Magistrate Court to determine whether police officer committed suicide or was shot dead by someone else. Here's a report.
A pathologist from Kitwe Central Hospital, Dr. Olga Sadfoska, has testified before the Mufulira Magistrates Court that her findings following a post-mortem revealed that Nason Simbeye, a police officer who was found dead in his house at Sikalangwe Police Camp in Mufulira on 23rd October 2020, did not commit suicide but was murdered. This is in an inquest before the Mufulira Magistrates Court to determine whether the 22-year-old police officer who worked for the anti-robbery department at Mufulira Central Police Station truly committed suicide or was shot by someone else. And when shown a picture of how Constable Simbeye's body was found in his bedroom, leaning against his bed with an AK-47 rifle in his hand, Dr. Sadfoska said she believed the scene was stage managed, as her findings revealed that the police officer was shot from the back while in a kneeling position. Meanwhile, the investigations officer, Chief Inspector Kennedy Siaziombo, testified that police officers found the deceased's house with the door slightly open, with no signs of forced entry. Mr. Siaziombo said the projectile from the firearm was never recovered in the deceased's house, despite the bullet going through his body. Hearing in the matter continues. Rachel Chisulo, reporting for Zanis in Mufulira.
On that note, we take a break. Do join me shortly for more news just after that.
The Show Society welcomes you to this year's 95th Agricultural and Commercial Show. Join us from the 2nd to the 7th of August 2023 for 6 complete days of extreme high-profile business. The show, as always, will have all sectors as it highlights several agricultural and commercial exhibits under the theme Inclusive Economic Transformation. Contact us on 0977 762 076 or 0957 451 185 or email info@acsz.co.zm for various sponsorship opportunities and to secure your exhibition space.
Welcome back. We continue with the rest of the news. This time around, we go to Eastern Province, where the Ministry of Education has embarked on a tree planting exercise dubbed Grow Green Zambia, which will see the ministry significantly upscale afforestation activities. Provincial Education Officer Brandley Malambo has kicked off the tree planting program in Chama District with a strong call to all learning institutions in the province to redouble their efforts in tree planting. Details in this report.
The cutting down of trees for charcoal production in Eastern Province is a setback in the fight against climate change. In Eastern Province, the Provincial Education Office, in partnership with various stakeholders, has embarked on a program dubbed Grow Green Zambia, aimed at safeguarding the environment. Senior Education Officer in charge of Guidance and Administration, Thomas Mkandawire, has represented Provincial Education Officer Brandley Malambo at the launch of the program.
The Growing Green Zambia is a concept note meant to be culminated into nationwide tree planting program in all our education institutions. As Eastern Provincial Education Office, we right away interacted with relevant stakeholders to ensure the nationwide tree planting is a success in the province. To this effect, all district education board secretaries in the province, in Eastern Province, were tasked to coordinate activities leading to tree planting in all educational institutions from 13th July 2023.
Here, stakeholders have welcomed the partnership with the Ministry of Education.
I think our department is actually in total support of each and every organization which would want to come on board in wanting to support this reduction of climate change by ensuring that they conduct some tree planting programs. So as the department, we are very, very much impressed that actually the Ministry of Education is actually coming on board.
I think even as a church, we agree that this is very important from the biblical point of view, that we see it even in the Garden of Eden, that from the very beginning, trees were there. So meaning God also wants us also to take care of His creation. If I just quote from Genesis chapter 2, leading from verse 15, it says, "And man was put in the garden to take care and to till the land." So we see that it is biblical even for us as a church to take part in this tree planting program.
The beauty about the program being launched today is that it involves the schools, meaning that our catchment area has now increased from farmers to having keepers as well, which is a good concept because it will give an opportunity to our students to learn techniques of raising trees at a tender stage.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chama District.
The United States government, through the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, is set to expand support to safe water, sanitation and hygiene wash in Zambia. Minister of Water, Development and Sanitation Mike Imposha, who graced the occasion to launch the plan, says a total of 829 villages in Zambia have attained open defecation-free status since Zambia was designated a high-priority water country in 2021. Daniel Mbili has more in the following report.
According to the World Health Organization, an estimated 36% of Zambians lack access to basic water services, and 68% lack access to basic vision for universal wash access. This is why the United States government, through the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, has launched a country plan to expand its support to safe water, sanitation and hygiene in Zambia. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Mike Imposha, launched the country plan to expand the U.S. support as he commissioned a water facility at Ngala village in Chama District.
I am reliably informed that in 2022, USAID designated Zambia as the U.S. government high priority country under the 2022 to 2027 Global Water Strategy. This means that Zambia is one of the 22 countries that are a primary focus of USAID's investments to build a water secure world where people and the nations have the water they need to be prosperous, healthy and resilient.
Mr. Mposha wants the local people to protect the water facility.
I want to appeal to the community members that in order for us to continue receiving support, in order for us to extend this support to ensure that your colleagues in the neighboring villages, communities also benefit from this kind of gesture, you must ensure that you protect this facility, guard it against vandalism.
And USAID Mission Director Peter Webler says USAID will continue to partner with government to address key financing gaps.
If we can work together with our friends in the government, with the friends in the private sector, with other international partners of Zambia, we can increase investment in Zambia's water system. We can increase the private sector's role in delivering water services, which will then in turn create jobs. So this all has an economic development aspect as well, which is critical to the success of the plan.
Residents are happy with the gesture.
We are now very much safe that we are using that.
Area Member of Parliament Princess Kasone wants USAID to involve members of Parliament as they roll out their projects.
And the Member of Parliament that will also not work alone. They work together with the councillor. Once you do not touch these offices, it becomes difficult. You find that the projects that we may have put, they don't really stay long. There is no accountability, and then also there is a duplication of programs.
Daniel Billy for Zanis News in Chiwombo, Central Province.
And in Northwestern Province, government through the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, has continued to deliver health center kits to health facilities in the country. Northwestern Province has received 560 kits, which will benefit 280 health facilities in the region, and these are part of the 7,000 health center kits recently shipped into the country from India. Here's a report.
In a bid to address the challenges of shortage of medicines in healthy facilities across the country, government continues to distribute essential medical health center kits. This time, Northwestern Province is receiving its share from the recently received 7,000 health center kits, which are just a part of the 42,000 medical supplies procured from India. Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi, retired, has flagged off the distribution of kits.
We pray, Honorable Masebo, that this will continue to flow into this province. Now, to our people in the province, you have heard it all. This medicine or these items are meant for you.
Colonel Katambi further sounded a stern warning that no kits should go missing.
To you, our colleagues, health workers, we are there because you are on a salary. So you must live with that, within that salary. The idea of wanting to touch where you are not supposed to touch will not be tolerated in this province.
Acting Provincial Health Director Malisheni Mumbuna equally expressed happiness with the delivery of the health center kits. Mr. Mumbuna affirmed that this will help to cover the drug deficit in about 280 health facilities in the province.
We are privileged as Northwestern Province to receive our badge for the next 2 months. From now on, we do not expect a lot of problems, especially from facility level, in terms of drugs.
Reporting for Zanis in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province, I am Hemit Hachilonde.
Other news, the Consumer Unit Trust Society CUTS International Zambia has observed that stakeholders' engagement is key towards the regional integration in the Southern Africa Development Community SADC region. CUTS board member Sajev Nay said this is because through interactions with various interest groups such as civil society organizations, state actors and the media, the region body will be able to come up with activities that will help in the promotion of a regional integration. Mr. Nay was speaking in Lusaka during a CSO and NSA engagement meeting aimed at accelerating efforts for effective regional integration. And SADC representative Waza Opel pledged the organization's continued support to initiatives aimed at enhancing stakeholder participation in issues to do with regional integration. Government will soon announce the new investor to take over operations at Mopani Copper Mine. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka, Mines and Minerals Development Minister Paul Kabuswe says the matter has reached its conclusion, stating that the government was negotiating for a better deal that puts Zambians at the center of the negotiations. The minister explained that government took time to deliberate over the matter involving Mopani so as to address all the teething issues surrounding the mine before reaching a concrete decision. Mr. Kabuswe has also announced that only one important issue remains to be resolved, in the Konkola Copper Mines KCM matter before a consensus could be reached with the mine's majority shareholders, Vendata Resources. Meanwhile, mining unions such as the Mine Workers Union of Zambia, MUZ, National Union of Miners and Allied Workers, NUMAO, and the United Mine Workers Union of Zambia, UMAOS, have commended government for the strides it has made in ensuring that controversial issues surrounding KCM and Mopani are resolved.
You can see that production in KCM isn't as it should be. Why? Because it is lacking capital injection. And that's why we had said, let's stop fighting in court. I'll tell you that both Vedanta and ourselves were losing millions of dollars through legal fees, which money could have gone in the asset. By now, we could have been talking about something else. So it's not, the state of the asset is not as it should be. And that is why we are saying, quickly we need capital injection in that asset so that it gets back to where it is supposed to be.
There was pressure which was mounting, and the assurance that you have made to the country, particularly to our members, I think it will calm down the members, and they expect, like you have said, in the matter of days now, KCM will avoid that only one wish is remaining out of the 10. I think that is a steady progress. And for Mopani, you have also said 3 bidders, you select one. I think that's a good announcement.
We have seen the policies of government working on the Northwestern Province, where there are a lot of expansion projects that are happening. And we want that to also translate and come back on the Copper Belt, KCM and Mopani, so that they take their position.
We were under pressure by our members. They wanted solutions, which solutions we didn't have, because we were waiting for government to make this pronouncement, which pronouncement now is getting to get, to us in a few days' time. So, Honorable Minister, we are very grateful.
In Central Province, Provincial Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe says the conflict which arose among Chivombo, Chisamba and Kabwe districts regarding ownership of the $700 million United States multi-facility economic zone M-phase will be put to rest. This follows a survey by the Provincial Planning Unit and the Survey Department, whose findings state that the M-phase sits on farm number 2112 in Kabwe district. More in this report.
When a heated debate over ownership of the $700 million multi-facility economic zone. Authorities in Chisamba, Chiwombo and Kabwe districts each claim that this multi-facility economic zone is sitting in their district.
Because I think where the multi phase is, it is purely in Kabwe district.
Given by the president then that Chiwombo was going to be given an M-phase.
Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe has called for a stakeholders meeting to find a solution to this problem. The investors want the problem resolved.
Well, we would like to engage with provincial administration directly regarding the issues.
And technocrats who refer to the Provincial and District Act, which has gazetted boundaries, have announced their findings.
Our findings are from the narratives, and also when we check on the maps, the findings are that the farm is actually in Kabwe district.
There's a title to that effect, and there are beacons which are already there on the ground.
It has been established that the multi-facility economic zone sits on Farm 2112, which is in Kabwe district, and efforts to establish this multi-facility economic zone was made by Chiwombo Council.
That there is need for us to quickly re-engage and look at the effects that the pronouncement legally of the Vice President has over the ownership of the M-phase.
Shupekile Nkunika for Zanis in Chiwombo District, Central Province.
Now in technology news, government is reviewing the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act number 20 of 2021 in order to strengthen security in the cyberspace. Minister of Technology and Science, Felix Mutati, said the review of the act is aimed at placing priority on cybersecurity to ensure that people in cyberspace are guaranteed safe transactions. Mr. Mutati said this in a speech read on his behalf by the ministry's Assistant Director, Communication, Annie Musanka, at the official opening of the Cybersecurity Safari organized by Checkpoint Company in Lusaka. And Checkpoint Company Territory lead Felani Banda pledged to work with the government in ensuring that cyber strategies offer cyber smart solutions to the users.
We have made significant progress in creating a digitally inclusive society. Ladies and gentlemen, today, more than ever, we are expected to create an enabling environment, policy and legal environment for the growth of the digital economy. The government has been taking steps to stimulate the growth of the digital economy and financing for the development of ICTs. The government is also reviewing the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act number 20 of 2021. The review of the Act is as a result of government's commitment to placing priority on cybersecurity to ensure that our people in cyberspace are guaranteed of safe transactions and navigation, as well as guaranteed internet.
We've partnered with Carrera as a 5-star partner to develop and grow cyber solutions across the SADC region. We're willing to work and want to work with the government in ensuring that the cyber strategy and becoming cyber smart and connecting services to the people is secure. Because as we know, the biggest risk in any organization is the people. So how do we ensure, through technology, we enable people to become cyber smart? And I was glad to hear that there is a Cyber Month in Zambia, which we would like very much to be a part of with our partners.
Finally, in sports news, the Department of Sports, Youth and Art in Western Province says the region is slowly becoming part of the world map following its successful performances in various sports disciplines. Provincial Youth Sports Development Coordinator Chimbeza Nyirenda says the province has shown its potential to compete in various sporting activities in the country and beyond. Nyirenda says he is again delighted to be part of the bodybuilding combo master competition in Lusaka, where Western Province participated and scooped the first position. He said this when he presented Arnold Walia, who is the new Mr. Zambia to Western Province Permanent Secretary, Simon Akapelwa at his office. And Akapelwa has encouraged the Mwangu business community to take advantage of the robust sporting potential for the province and invest in sports infrastructure. Earlier, outgoing Western Province World Fitness Federation chairperson Isakando Noya thanked the Western Provincial Administration for its support towards the sport. Well, that sporting item wraps up our news. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines once more. Government funds aquaculture training. USAID supports water, sanitation and hygiene in Zambia. Plus, KCM Mopani to be revamped. That's the end of the news. On behalf of everybody involved, my name is Kalan Mchima. May God bless you. Bye-bye.